growing up, my family, whilst we were together, it was myself and my parents, my mum and my dad, we always kind of struggled to make ends meet. My dad would try and work, for a job here or a job there after being made redundant. But then, having that sort of lack at home meant that I was constantly looking at what my friends had and looking at the things that they, would show me and say, look, Richard, look what I have. I'd be made fun of in school because I don't have the latest of, the trainers, the clothes. The lack that resulted there probably was the reason why I started to steal, started to lie. Basically, there was two shades to my character. In front of people, I'd be really nice, really smiley, really bubbly. But then behind people's backs, I'd be very underhanded. When I went to university, I still carried that mindset of I'm different. I don't really care about what, other people think. I'm gonna do things my way. On top of that, I had addictions to pornography, to masturbation and music. And the pornography would fuel my, addiction to masturbation, which will fuel my addiction to music. And that was a very bad self-perpetuating cycle that I didn't see anything wrong in at the time. All my friends would speak about it. I would speak about it. I would join in the conversation just because I wanted to belong. And that was what carried me, that was the mindset I carried into uni. I even went to uni prepared to kind of almost practice what I had learned at the time and just let loose and go wild. This was something that I was doing to myself to try and please others. In an attempt to please others, I was actually breaking myself. At that point, that was the person I was. Somebody who would just do things and then worry about the consequences later. I was at university, and this was actually my first week. A friend of, the person is now my girlfriend, but we were on the same course together at university, and she evangelized to me. She said, oh, you should try, coming to the youth group. You're gonna really enjoy it. And I thought, okay, do you know what? I don't really mind. I'll go anyway because I've got nothing to do. That constant, involvement in the youth group actually led me to, staying. And so I slowly was dropping the pornography, was dropping the masturbation. The hardest to drop, funnily enough, was the music. But then when eventually I understood that I can't listen to what I am not because you are what you listen to, that was advice that was given to me by a pastor at the time. And so I took it on board and made the changes necessary. When I would hear about the Holy Spirit in the UCKG, in my head, I thought I've already got the Holy Spirit because in my house, I grew up in a religious household. I read about the Holy Spirit when I go to church on Sunday. So I have the Holy Spirit. But when I began to understand that the Holy Spirit is not a what, but a who, and it's a person who wants to take, possession of your life and really shine through me, then that's when my life began to change. I started to understand more, okay, the Holy Spirit is more than just something I knew in the past. I decided to start all over again. I threw out all the knowledge, the religious knowledge that I thought I knew, and then I started again to build up that relationship with the Holy Spirit. It came to a point where in my life, I knew that if I did not take God seriously, I was going to go to hell. And so I took every opportunity I could to get closer to God, including the fast of Daniel. And so when that came along, I cut off social media. At that time, I even would play games with the family. Then once, everyone breaks away, I'd go into my room and I'd seek the Holy Spirit. God went from being somebody distant to somebody nearby, as in the same room. I'd challenge myself. I wouldn't eat breakfast before I read the Bible. I wouldn't close my eyes before I read the Bible to sleep, and those challenges were eventually habits that I still keep to this day. One Sunday, in fact, I remember the precise day, the 6th of January, 2019. I went to service that day already believing that this is going to be the Sunday. I had done so before then, but the Holy Spirit said, keep on going. It was my conscience, but the Holy Spirit said, keep on going. When I received the Holy Spirit on that Sunday, the pastor simply said, receive the Holy Spirit and believe you receive him. Don't listen to the voices of doubt. And I said, I believe I received the Holy Spirit. I've done everything possible, God. And he spoke back and said, I am with you. Don't even think for a second I'm not with you. My experience receiving the Holy Spirit was overwhelming assurance. Assurance that if I had died, I'm going to heaven. Assurance that if I'm on earth, I'm going to be used by God to save souls. And that assurance is still with me till this day. So today, I'm no longer addicted to pornography, masturbation. The music I listen to is not profanity, doesn't have any kind of, swear words or sexual lyrics. I stay away from that. And also, I'm no longer that type of person that wants to get anything by any means. I'm no longer materialistic. I'm not driven by money anymore, and even on the same front, I no longer lack anything I need. God has provided me with a wonderful job in the city. And so I no longer need to steal. I no longer need to tell lies. Everything is the truth because I serve a God of truth. I have the truth inside of me. I no longer need to feel validated by people anymore. I no longer have that desire to fit in. My vision is twofold. It's saving my soul and saving other souls. That's all I want to do. No matter what I'm doing, whether it be in the office, whether it be in the church, in the VYG, whether it be at home, especially at home, all I want to do is save my soul, ensure I'm saved, and then save others. The fast of Daniel for me represents revival. Every time it's announced, I'm so excited because I know that even though it's going to be a sacrifice, even though I'm not going to be able to do the things that I enjoy, so to speak, I get to do the number one thing that is going to make the most difference. I get to focus on my soul and I get to have the time. It frees up time to save other souls as well. And so I'm excited for the revival that is going to come at the end. My name is Richardson Harry and I received the Holy Spirit during the fast of Daniel.